I'd be in a prison cell before you could say new government.
Let's not say new government. Anyway, come on in, everybody. We see you out there. Glad you're here. Let me go switch my Facebook around while I'm thinking about it. Yeah, exactly.
We're
live. Yeah, we are live, so be careful. Yes.
I'll ask you later.
Yeah, the Facebook's up now as well. Come on in, everybody. Come on in. The chat is open. We are live, or somewhat alive, for a Friday morning. We hope you're doing all right out there. We've got a great book, a lot of short stories to look at today.
Yes.
Some fun stuff. So come on in and we'll get this party started. Like I said, the chat's live. Don't be afraid to chime in. And here we go.
What was that? This is not a charade. We need total concentration. Now, once again, this time, with theory.
There we are, folks. Welcome to Comics by Night. Going to take a look at some great comics today. A Monsterbus. Yes.
Yeah.
More Monsterbus. So, like I said, I hope everybody's doing all right. Nobody's in the chat yet, so you guys better get busy and start typing. Anyway, I'm your host, Randy Zimmerman. You can find my work over at arrowcomics.store, where you can find works like Hero Bot Zero, which is a fun book that I'm especially proud of. Little giant robot going around fighting big monsters and defending a city as long as he can do it on the clock. Calico Shard is there as well. And Alice in Chains is there.
Woo-hoo.
And a few digital files that you can only get over there at the store. A couple of colorized issues of Spank the Monkey that I've done that I'm pretty proud of. Originally offered in black and white, but now they're in color, but only offered digitally. A few other fun things, so go over there and take a look. You can also find copies of a book I don't have on hand, apparently. Where is it? There it is. Shadow Kingdom, folks.
Yeah, buy it.
The Shadow Kingdom. There's only a couple copies left there at the store, but it's also available over at barnesandnoble.com, amazon.com, most especially over at Critical Blast, where they're offering a couple of different formats of this. A beautiful hardback version of that Glenn has, and a couple of different other versions and other formats. So go over there and take a look and enjoy.
You can pick up a specially priced hardback version at the Atlantean right now.
Yeah. And it's what we did is we adapted the first. There's the other Shadow Kingdom hardback right there. We adapted a short story by Robert E. Howard that's in public domain. It's the first Cull story, the first recognized sword and sorcery tale that started the entire genre as Cull becomes becomes king of Valusia and discovers a conspiracy plot by a race of shape-shifting lizard people. So, Tuesday.
Yeah, Tuesday. Yeah.
We hope you'll go over there and check it out. Russ did the artwork on this. I adapted the story, and both of us are very, very proud of this work and the other work springing off of it called The Atlantean that Russ will tell you more about. But in the meantime, we're also joined by Mr. Glenn Fleming. So, Glenn, introduce yourself, please.
Hi, everybody. My name's Glenn Fleming. I'm a writer, artist, and publisher. If you go to New Haven Publishing, you can get a copy of my Jack Kirby book, which details my visits to see the great man at his home in the late 80s and early 90s. Also available on Amazon. If you go to Fund My Comic, you can get my book about my cartoon character Hatch, which this book details all his origins and everything. Has unpublished artwork in it, from pencils through to colours. And I also publish every now and again more again than or more whenever. This magazine, Comics Unlimited, which is a 100-page magazine about comics and features articles and interviews. These are all available on Amazon, and Randy and Russ have both been in there. Check it out. It's I mean, I'm biased, but it's really interesting read. And there you go. You won't go wrong.
Great historical articles in there too. Lots of information about a lot of different comic-based subjects. So
yeah, some of it actually makes me look like I know what I'm talking about, but that's obviously debatable. Objective, I think they call it.
And also with us this morning, Mr. Russ Leach. Russ, introduce yourself, please.
Hello, my name's Russ Leach. I am a comic book artist from the UK. Done some stuff, bit of Batman, bit of Warner Brothers, bit of Ben 10, bit of Marvel, bit of this, bit of that. At the moment, I am totally focused on our great new publication, The Atlantean, which is a continuation of the story, as Randy was suggesting, spawned out of the Shadow Kingdom. And we're up on Fund My Comic. We're about halfway through our campaign, and we're not doing too badly at the moment. But obviously, we'd love to get out to as many readers as possible. It's a continuation of the story from the Shadow Kingdom, so it's those public domain characters, and we're taking them off on an adventure, looking for the empire of the lizard people. And it's like the old Savage Sword of Conan magazines. So it's large size format, black and white, quality artwork with a lovely painted cover. It's Marco Freire this time. There'll be ink spots next time. And you can pick up that book for just $15, okay, plus the shipping. Or you could pick up two, read one, give one away for just $25. This is really, really good priced stuff here. You can also pick up what Randy was saying, the hardback version as well, with a copy of the Atlantean, and you can save $10 on that. But check it out. There's some of the artwork there. We're really pleased with how it's going. It's definitely a passion project, and we'll be doing several issues, seeing where we go. But the idea is to just keep bringing the stories to you. So check that out. And if you want to find out more about me, about the Atlantean, about the Shadow Kingdom, go to russleach.com and sign up for the email list, and we'll keep you abreast of every event around the publication cycle. So go over to russleach.com and sign up for the email list. There you go.
And the address is currently on the screen. So
There you go. Easy. Go get a copy now.
Yep. And both books are separate stories, so you're getting a lot of content for your money, a lot of bang for the buck, as they say. So go over there and enjoy those. Today we are continuing our look at the Monsterbus, the Marvel Monsterbus, as they call it. Stan Lee, Larry Lieber, and Jack Kirby.
And Jack Kirby.
Yeah, and Jack Kirby. Mostly Kirby.
Do you mean Jack Kirby, and Jack Kirby?
Yeah, that too. And some of them.
With Stan Lee and Larry Lieber.
Yeah.
Just along for the ride. Yeah.
It's Professor X.
Yeah, it's Professor X is there.
Little wider head. But it is him. Yeah, look at that. From Strange Tales 69. 69.
Who's the artist on this one?
This is Kirby.
Kirby.
Is that
again.
Kirby?
Yep.
Yeah, Chris Rule. Is it Chris Rule?
Doesn't look like a Kirby
Chris Rule.
face.
Absolutely. Yep.
Is it the inking that's changing it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it might have been really rough, just layouts, because he was doing everything, wasn't he, Kirby, that time.
Can we see that all right? We're good, right?
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, that's great. That's nice and sharp.
I'm not playing with it.
Good.
Don't play with the camera either.
That too.
It's only taken you 2.5 years not to
Stop playing with it.
to leave it alone. Look at that guy. He's called Linus Vermeer. What a name.
What a name.
These stories are great.
We'll be sailing about 1,000 miles southeast of here, and we're looking for the lost continent of Atlantis.
Wow.
How apropos.
Yes.
I like the way it's like when you watch these soap operas, the people dress like they are, and this guy's a captain, so he's got to have his hat on.
At all times.
Yeah, and he's got a pipe as well, so it must be a clever captain.
Yeah,
Yeah.
clever captain.
Is that
I like the guy.
Is that a washing
bald
machine
guy.
behind it?
Washing machine.
Can you
Right
see
here.
it? Yeah.
Yeah,
It's great.
it is.
I like the bald guy. I think he looks like the guy out of Thunderbirds.
Yeah. The
the hood. Yeah,
The hood where he's looking over the side of the ship there.
Yeah.
Why he's hiding behind the side of the ship? Oh, of course, he's sitting down, isn't he? Because he's on a
yeah.
wheelchair.
He's in a chair. He's leaning
He's just
forward. yeah.
leaning over and looking over the side there.
Oh, what's over here? Yeah.
Flying fish. Look at that.
Yeah.
And a shark. A very happy
Yeah.
shark, it must be said.
Yeah. It's that.
He's just
Looks
sitting
that
there with
way.
his mouth open, waiting for the flying fish to jump in.
Poor devil looks as lonely as the sea. He searches uselessly, looking for a continent that doesn't exist. Never say never in these comics.
Oh, he's turned red.
He's a fish.
He's actually a fish.
Brilliant. Oh, fantastic.
Wow, he's dived in.
Look,
He's found his home.
flippers.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
And now they're going to go home and face a murder charge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And who's going to get
Yeah.
all his money? Because he's a very wealthy man.
He just jumped in. I can't explain it. And he had a tail.
Yeah, the tail of a fish.
The world of fantasy. Run for your life. It's
Zom,
Zom. The menace from
Zom.
outer space.
formerly known as Twitter.
Yeah. Or Twitter Rom. Yeah.
I said this last week about the titles, the creatures who captured the earth. You think, oh, I've got to read that.
Yeah. That was
thing
the
is,
whole
is they used
idea,
to-
right?
Yeah.
They used to come up with this stuff week in, week out.
All the time.
I'm
Yeah.
impressed that it's as good as it is, to be brutally honest.
Yeah.
Well, there was so long that this stuff was dismissed, goofy little short stories that just plug in wherever. And
That's
I remember the reprints fondly, the Where Creatures Roam and Where Monsters Dwell reprint books that they did off of this material. A lot
That's
of fun
my-
stuff.
That's my wedding anniversary, 18 June.
Okay.
Mm. Can you? Is this just my eyes, or is that? Can you actually see where he's with the letterer as Fielding Zom?
Yes. Yes,
Yeah.
you can. Yeah.
It's great.
Not finished it off.
They cut that word balloon out of him too. Yeah.
Yeah, the thick old word balloon right there.
Yeah. Well, they did those so it was easier to cut out and paste onto those covers. So at least that's my understanding of it.
Oh, no, that guy's back again.
He is.
He's back with his flippers.
And he's walking. Yeah. He's walking here.
Walking back to
That's some funky office he's got there. Look at that desk.
Yeah.
Christopher Rule again. Yeah.
Look at that
don't know what
Batmobile
that
as well
is.
behind him.
Yeah,
Yeah, he's the only person in the world
Yeah.
with a Atlas thing, whatever they call those things, bigger than the Earth.
Yeah.
Titanic motors. Oh, there's a clue there. There's a clue.
I think so.
It's all going to go wrong.
Did you say thinking robot? Yes, sir. Look at
Young
that.
man, it's true that I've been enterprising, that I've backed some pretty daring projects, but this idea of yours is utterly fantastic. I advise you to forget it immediately and concern yourself with more practical matters. So it is fantastic. You have machines in this very automobile plant, which are only one step away from a thinking machine. Oh, they're talking AI here back in the late 50s.
Mm.
Yeah.
It won't be able to take out the garbage, but it can draw you a comic.
Yeah. There we go. There's some
Wow.
Kirby futurism. And in the end, it's the bald guy again. Turns out to be a robot. Yeah.
So it's a robot fish.
Yeah.
I thought that story was a bit fishy.
Wonder if I skipped a page here. Usually, no, I sure didn't.
No, it's a short one. It's a short one.
They're all short ones.
So has he sacked him then? Did he sack him?
Yeah. Well, he told him to go away at least.
Yeah, I told him to go away. His idea was crazy.
You're a crazy old man.
If there's anything I don't want, it's competition from another robot, he says.
Excuse me while I take off my shirt.
Yeah.
Nice fold on that red shirt there, where it's in red.
Yeah, that's lovely, isn't it? Yeah.
Couple of covers. Strange World.
Whoa. The day the
Tales.
Martians struck.
Yeah. Manhunt on Mars. I was the first victim of a manhunt on Mars.
I love those like the three loops around his knees and his elbows.
Yeah.
It's great.
Yeah.
How did he become the changing man? Jumped comic companies. Yeah.
You know, they
Right.
always draw that kind of spaceship in the background. It's really impractical.
Mhm.
But it must be said that in the early 50s, Von Braun was designing, what became the Saturn V for the moon rocket.
Mhm.
But he was going to he wanted to put missiles on top, but that's a different story. But they were a bit like that, and he was going to land the whole thing, All three astronauts were going to go down, and they were going to land the whole rocket, but they couldn't because they couldn't carry enough fuel, because it would have been about 6 times as big to carry the fuel.
Yeah.
And that's why they made a smaller version and broke it down, and bits didn't come back, and and all that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So when you see those spaceships and you think that's a silly spaceship, it's not so silly really, because it's what they were thinking of.
Yeah, they were thinking that way, yeah.
Yep.
But if Von Braun's plan had come to fruition, we'd be on Mars by now.
Yeah.
That's right. Yep.
We'd have a whole colony up there.
I said when I interviewed Charlie Duke, who was the lunar module pilot on Apollo 16, 10th man on the moon, he said to me that if the money and obviously the political will, because the whole thing was political, nothing to do with exploration really. Yeah, it was to beat the Ruskies, If he said to me that if he was on the moon in 1972, and he said that if the money and the will would have been there and the impetus, he would have stayed on, and he's very confident, these men, he would have been standing on the moon on Mars in 1985.
Good Lord.
Had they kept the money and all the rest of it, but he would have stayed on. That's why he left, because there were no more missions. There was only one mission after his, and he didn't. And the shuttle was nowhere near. He didn't want to wait.
No,
he was good. If the shuttle would have been made and all that kind of thing, he would have stayed on and probably done shuttle missions.
They even with the shuttle though, that wasn't like the top design.
That's right.
There were other much better designs, much better concepts that they threw out. Yeah.
But they also shifted the momentum as well with because the budgets were cut so much. They had
to near Earth.
But they had to make a reusable aircraft, spacecraft, which is what the shuttle is, obviously.
But I mean, I saw this documentary now. The plans from who used to make the Spitfire engines and that.
Barnes Wallace.
I got the wrong people. Rolls-Royce.
Right.
And they had an engine that was effectively take an airplane-like structure up to the edge of space, and then the rockets would take over and they just nip out or outside of the the
Yeah.
atmosphere, as it were.
Mhm.
And it was all reusable, all of it. It would land like a plane. It would land like a normal plane.
It wasn't Barnes
and it
Wallace.
was
He
all-
did Barnes Wallace did the bouncing bomb. It was Whittle who
Right,
did the
right,
jet engine.
okay. But they just threw it out. They just threw it out.
Yeah.
So
They had-
there's an awful lot of brown paper envelopes doing the rounds, isn't there?
They had
So-
Whittle had the jet engine in 1932. 10 years
Yeah,
before. 10 years
didn't the
before the Germans had it.
British government didn't want to invest in it, did they?
Yeah, they took the plans off him, said cheers, and put them in a drawer.
Mhm.
Oh
And
Jesus!
then
It's
the
just-
Germans had the Messerschmitt 262
Mhm.
towards the end of the war, which was the first jet.
But politics and finance have actually held the human race back to a large degree.
Just a bit,
Yep.
yeah. And continue to do so.
Almost as much as religion. Yeah.
Well, what amazing! I mean, the last sort of like 10 years, NASA have been making big noises about going back to the moon, and I've actually seen scientists on sort of saying, "Oh, well, it's very difficult to go to the moon, and we don't know that we have the technology to do it." And you just think, "Sorry, didn't you go before? What?
50
Am I
years ago.
missing something?"
Yeah, that's right.
Not only
just
did
that,
you
but
go
they-
before, but you went on the back of a calculator.
Yeah. And they have the gall to say they lost all that technology.
Well, yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
You're like, what do you mean you lost it?
Yeah.
I left it down the back of the sofa one night. What's
Exactly.
wrong with you people? Oh, look at that.
It's a great tales of suspense.
Look at his mask.
One of us is a Martian. I'll give you a guess.
Look at that guy's mask as if it had fit that face.
Yeah, I know. It's like you stick it over the top. Because, are your ears all right? Yeah, they're fine. Don't look.
Mhm.
Look
You
at
see,
that.
just-
Wow.
It just tucks everything else in. Yeah. Nice ship too. What a great
Look at the
design.
names again. He says the year with 2,500. Their names were Lester Wells and Jim Stack. A good American name, Lester.
Yeah. Don't hear that very much anymore.
No,
Didn't hear it much back then, I don't think.
no.
Right, Jim, but try not to get too close.
On the
As you
main
usually
fascia,
do.
they had compartments for their pipes.
Yeah.
Just underneath the main control system, they had a little like glove box for their pipes.
Look at this text. Lester, over there, like, you know, like it just suddenly appeared, an uncharted planet. And he says, all right, Jim, but try not to get close as you usually do. Oh, so he's done this before.
Yeah, it's like we've been swooping around all these uncharted planets, and yeah, oh god, having a bit of fun. You know how it goes. Stopping off every now and then.
Is that
Oh, that was a close one, Jim.
Seems to be bitching about his driving. That's terrible. You turn the
But he's
page and find out it's a woman. Anyway.
or a robot. Yeah.
Sitting in the back.
Or a robot or a fish.
Or a robot. Yeah. Reed Richards, folks, special guest appearance.
Yeah, I was just going to
Yep.
say that. Reed Richards there. With Ben.
Johnny Storm looking on. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now we get to see how Chris
look at that.
Rule would have inked those characters. Yeah.
Look at that bottom left panel on the left page. Like, yeah. The way that's going out. Never mind.
Let's tell him Jim's luckier than he is cautious. See you soon.
This is a 6-panel grid
Mhm.
with very little in the way of rendering, and yet it's still an interesting flow. You're still taken in by it. It's great. I mean, they're just chit chatting down this bottom right hand corner here on the last 4 panels. There's a lot of, it's very wordy,
Yeah.
but it's still interesting views of the characters and walking through the jungle, and it's great. It's such simple work. This reminds me of Sinnott.
Yeah, it's very tight, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Chris-
very tight.
Chris Rule again. Look at what
Entering-
he says there. Sorry, go on. Carry on.
Entering the room now, Mr. Rex.
Hey, Rex.
Rex,
Well,
how
hello,
are you?
Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
I was sitting around and thinking of you, Randy, and it's like, oh shoot, it's past 4.
You're always welcome to jump in whenever you're awake. Absolutely.
Whenever you're awake.
Yeah, oh yeah. It's like,
Jump in if
yeah,
you're
I'm
not
still
awake
on
if you want.
nighttime hours.
Yeah, or not, or not
I'm
be
half
awake.
awake. Does that count?
We have had guests on that have fallen asleep, so
We
it's
miss
okay.
Max very much. Max DeVille used to join us a few times. Yeah.
Definitely.
Well, I
are
just
looking at-
woke up a little bit ago, so guaranteed.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, we are looking at old Marvel Atlas timely short stories here, collected into a
Yeah.
what they call a monster bus.
Monsterbus.
Oh, yeah. Uh-huh. First appearance of Groot on the cover there.
Yeah.
From Tales to Astonish. Yeah, it looks very Fantastic Four-like, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
Kirby.
Because he kind of gave them long faces during this period. Look at that
Yes.
third panel on the first page.
Mm-hmm.
But
And he
that's
doesn't
more harkens back more to his Golden Age and 50 style, doesn't it?
Yeah. Well, this is his 50s style.
But now this stuff came just right after his work for DC for Challenges Unknown, right?
Probably
Somewhere in
during.
there? Early.
Probably
Yeah,
in the
so-
midst of it. He was doing short story stuff for anybody at this point. Yeah.
Okay.
The Sky Master strip,
And
I think, was during this time period as well.
And
for
what
Kirby.
story is this, and who inked it?
This is inked by Chris
Or
Rule.
do we know the inker?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
well, there's notes
Okay.
on that. This is by Chris Rule. We looked him up last week off of Wikipedia. He was about what did we figure, about 60 years old when he inked this.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Long time
Well,
illustrator.
as you know, the reason I asked, do we know, a lot of creators were uncredited.
Right. Yeah.
And I think just to get stuff out, they had a combination and stories. Marvel was kind of famous. You might have Jack Kirby, Don Heck, and Gene Colan all work on one issue, right? Different
Oh, yeah.
sections of it.
Well, they all did short
Mhm.
stories, 5, 6, 7 pages long. So everybody got their own
Yeah, I love
personal
the short
assignment.
story. During this time, you got one of my favorite inkers, probably my favorite over Jack Kirby, and that was Steve Ditko.
Yeah.
Which, after he did his Spider-Man stuff, then he got too busy to do that, I think.
Mhm.
Over Ditko. Over Kirby. Only did Fantastic Four number 13 and the cover to 14.
Yeah, these stories didn't last much
But
longer
what-
once the superhero stuff started up. So
Yeah, it's really sad. I guess this was the type of stuff that they reprinted in the early 70s in the sort of Chamber of monsters or whatever.
Chamber of
stories, right?
Chills, Haunt, where monsters
whatever the
dwell,
titles were. Yeah.
where creatures
Journey
roam.
into Mystery Series 2 was
Yeah.
one of them. Yeah.
Great stuff.
Yeah. I don't know why you want to bore yourself with this Kirby stuff, Glenn.
Yeah,
It's wonderful.
Well,
I've got to say, I prefer this inker over than like a Vince Coletta. He's so weak on the line. I mean, here you got a powerhouse in Kirby. Although I can see in this a little bit of Don Heck, like in the facial features in that
Mhm.
first panel, and maybe that last on the second page. Don Heck was quite active during this time too.
Yeah.
I guess since the early 50s, if not sooner.
Well, Heck and Coletta both were pretty heavy in the romance comics at this point. They were
Yeah.
doing romance comics, short story work, as well as the science fiction stuff. So,
Well, I
those are
know
even harder
Ramita
to come across.
Senior and Gene Colan, and I've seen like Dick Gargiano covers,
Mm-hmm.
which might not have been in the same Marvel mix or Atlas mix. I mean, I know Ramita went way back to the early 50s and with the Atlas stuff when
Yeah.
he hired on.
And again, he was primarily romance stories as well, because he drew great women. Kirby, on the
Hey,
other hand, science
spaceships
fiction
and
stuff. So yeah,
yeah, and that's all you need is like a blue uniforms for everyone, all
Mhm.
around, even blue spaceships.
yeah, great stuff though. Look at that machinery.
Mm-hmm. And that's nothing compared to what it would be in the Fantastic Four, right?
Yeah, yeah. Very much a precursor.
I mean, he
to
would
this
do
one.
whole pages worth of nothing but machinery, just about.
Yeah.
You got some great covers. Yeah, Strange Tales. Now, I guess this would have been, I mean, related to like Doctor Strange and Nick Fury later, but it was all
Yeah.
monster stuff at this point.
Mhm.
And some say that they Kirby and Stan Lee was kind of hedging their bets on the Fantastic Four by putting a monster called the Thing in the Fantastic Four. You know, he was still sort of in that monster bent, which he knew was popular at the time.
Yeah, it was very, very much a cauldron of the stuff that was popular of the day. You know, and then they grabbed Human
Yeah, I
Torch
mean, all
because
the
they had tried to resurrect Captain America. I don't know, about 6-7 years before that. So they
Mhm.
used Human Torch in there, and a monster, and a family unit, a mom and dad. Yeah, Mr. Fantastic, because Plastic Man wasn't coming out at the time.
right.
So
You know where Plastic Man came out, and still, I'm just trivia question here, Randy. You know where he came out in his first book?
the Quality Police comics, right?
No, it was for DC anyway. It was
Oh.
yes, originally Quality and Police Comics 1, but you're going all the way back to his origin, his first appearance by Jack Kirby. But no, his Silver Age appearance was in
Dial
House
H
of
for
Mystery.
Hero.
Yeah, Dial H for Hero, which is kind of strange, huh? How that in tune to bring Plastic Man and how that counts as a true Plastic Man, you know, appearance. I don't know, but kind of like Captain America, right? Because his first appearance was the Leaper, dressed up as Captain America.
Right. Here we have When Wakes the Sphinx.
That Sphinx is Jack Kirby, isn't it?
Yeah. So here comes
Looks
the ghost
very Jack
ship.
Kirby.
You'll never guess its unearthly secret.
Who knew the Sphinx had a nose and it looked very simian in the facial features?
Yeah.
Looks simian to me, though.
Giant walks the earth.
Wilbur Fisk.
What a great splash page.
Wasn't one of the odd Marvel villains named Wilbur Fisk, wasn't it? Like the Porcupine or somebody like that?
Don't know. This is Dick Ayers, isn't it? Inking this.
Ayers? Yeah.
If you look,
this is still Chris Rule here.
All right. Looks like Dick Ayers, doesn't it?
Now the credit here says
how many times did he do that splash page pose in a Western where he's grabbing for his guns, you know, the showdown pose.
Yeah.
Legs apart. Look how big that guy's eyes are on that red and black panel. Huge eyes. Always drinking some potion, just like Captain America or
out of an oversized test tube yet too. Yeah.
This won't change me in anything. Let's try it. We might invent Royal Cola.
Well, I'm a little thirsty. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He's got a great look on his face.
Right there. Good old Wilbur just keeps growing.
Yeah, I always love to scale stories, you know, the Ant-Man stories and stuff where the thumb is as big as a skyscraper or something.
Yeah.
Compared to the little hero.
Only an American soldier would say that. Should we let him sample a few rounds of artillery, sir? No. The science bar doesn't sort out. You know, I know it's not. So don't all get upset. I know it's not. But the American vibe always seems to be destroy it first, and then ask if it's okay.
Well, also this is the 50s, so yeah, everything that they don't recognize needs to be destroyed.
Everything's a communist, so they have to blow it up.
Yeah, exactly.
So are all these stories set in the 50s? They came out in the 50s. They weren't like in the early 60s as well. These are the real early.
We're still looking at late 50s, early 60s, somewhere in there.
That almost looks like a Charlton cover there with the up in the left-hand corner where you have the stripe go across at a diagonal. Charlton, no, on the cover. Yeah. Charlton used to do that and then put their little imprint up there, just like that. The early Charltons and around this time. So maybe they might have been emulating Charlton at the time somewhat.
It's the gargoyle from the fifth.
Charlton.
Go ahead.
I was just going to say the Charlton quality was not like of the 70s and 80s quality, with their books back when Charlton actually did some pretty neat books, all the way back to the 40s, I guess.
Before they got their own printing presses.
Stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, what a wonderful titles at this time. World of Fantasy.
Yeah.
And who doesn't like a
gargoyle from the fifth dimension or the fifth galaxy? Because the first four just, I guess didn't have anybody. Nice jack legs here too.
Quite probable.
Yeah.
Shoot him. If that'll be effective.
There's only one thing as scary as finding alien life, and that's finding out there isn't any.
Yeah.
He's probably firing a riot gun at him. A helicopter. Just crash it into him. See if that has any effect. Go kamikaze.
Shooting anything there.
I bet he has trouble using phones, though. I mean, look at his fingers.
It's got to. Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like trying to dial
screen.
And just.
What's your point, Russ? He's probably got one of the touchscreen in his pouch there.
I don't know. I reckon he likes old school. He likes retro stuff, and he's really quite frustrated that he can't use a dial phone. Perhaps he has to use a dictaphone. Who knows?
Strange worlds.
They certainly are.
They are the three who vanished.
Kirby definitely did some Easter Island riffs over the years. I mean, several times in Journey into Mystery and here, and like the first appearance of Thor in '83. You got the Stone Men of Saturn, very thing-like creatures.
Yeah,
rock. But there's more than a few Jack Kirby covers out there where like Easter Island type characters are coming to life and attacking people. What's that down at the bottom of that Strange Worlds? What's that gray? Is that just like a splash effect? What is that?
Yeah.
What is that?
Just
Smoke? Smoke from the candle.
Yeah.
Okay. That's kind of different. Because the smoke is not going up, it's going down. Like there's some vent or something sucking it up.
It's magic smoke.
I was trapped by the things on Easter Island. Oh no, Glenn, run!
Glenn already got out.
You don't need to run from them. They can't move. They've got no legs.
Now, when you went to Easter Island, did you know that some of them were buried up to their necks and they actually had a full body in the island?
Yeah, it's not the best kept secret of all time. Yes, I did. Yeah. Yes.
Now, have they exhumed some of those, I guess, to kind of show?
I think they have a couple of them, yeah.
Yeah, Tor Heyerdahl did it back in the 50s, the late 50s when he went. He dug down and found.
Isn't there some disagreement over how old they are because of the layers of sediment? Because there's some suggestions that they weren't buried,
Yes, yes,
that they're much older, and that it's sediment building up.
I think they're thousands of years old, like Stonehenge and the pyramids and things like that.
Yeah, stone has a hard time decaying,
Go ahead.
It's not totally sediment though, because some of them are buried. They can tell because they were lifted up, and there's 800 of them on the island that are standing.
Right.
And they're on these platforms, and platforms called Ahu, AHU, Ahu. It's called. That's the platform name for it.
Are they all around the perimeter of the island?
Yeah. They're all looking in.
Or are there more in? Are there some inland?
Yeah, there are some inland, but they're mainly around the perimeter.
And they're all looking
how large
in.
is the island, Lynn?
I can't tell you, talking over each other.
I think Rex is on a small delay.
They're all looking in.
Very, very likely.
Yeah. Dave's in the house, Genuine Comics. Hello, Dave. I hope you're doing well.
So what do you reckon they were, Glenn? What do you reckon? What's your theory?
I think that they're all worshipping, because when you look at them, when you look at the photographs of them, they've clearly got, it looks like a big chin, but it's not. It's a beard. And you find the same things on the walls in the pyramids in Egypt. And you also find them on the walls in the ziggurats in Mexico and Guatemala and Honduras.
Right. Wow.
And all these guys have all got a watch on, and they've got that little man bag thing.
I was about to say, is this the same thing as the man bag? Yeah.
Yeah, it's the same people, as it were, who landed here, and they worship them. That's why I think that the Easter Island older than. They're supposed to be 1,600 years old or something like that. Not very old, but they're older than that. And I also think that the reason they're on Easter Island is because the Easter Island is the tip end of the archipelago of what's it called? Where Pitcairn is, Polynesia.
Yeah, right.
And I think when they were made, the water level was lower.
Yeah,
and people were walking more from Pitcairn to Easter Island rather than getting in a boat 2,000 miles, that kind of thing.
That all fits in with the suggestion that there may have been a pre-Ice Age civilization.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. It's the same thing with the Bering Strait from from Russia over to Alaska. It's 50 miles wide, the Bering Strait, and it's reckoned that it was frozen. It was like a land bridge. It was frozen. People would walk over from Mongolia, those places, and then go to Alaska, and then the land bridge would melt, and they couldn't get back. So because it was cold, they just walked south into Oregon and California, down to Central America. That's one of the theories. Which is why some of the.
Go ahead, Glenn. Sorry.
Which is why some of the indigenous look a little like them from like Mongolian.
Well, yeah, and why they find ginger hair in South America in some of the mummies and what have you.
Yeah,
it's bonkers. It's
the most interesting guy they found in the Egyptian pyramid. Now you all know where Egypt is. At the top of Africa. They found, not in the pyramids, but the Valley of the Kings, because there are no mummies in the pyramids. They're not buried places.
No,
people think the mummies were buried in there. Well, they weren't. They're buried in the Valley of the Kings, which is about 500 miles away. And they found a guy. They were looking at the hieroglyphics, and there was a guy on it missing. And they found him down this corridor, around the corner, underneath that brick, round the corner, down. They found him hidden away. And he was like an ambassador to the pharaoh, I think. But his body was so well preserved, they did an autopsy on him, and they found that he had cocaine and cocoa bean in his stomach, which means that either he went to South America because of the cocoa, or somebody came here.
Somebody bought it back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you think, well, it's what 4,000 miles of ocean between Egypt and South America. Blah blah blah. They didn't have the boats. Blah blah blah. But the water was probably lower, so the ocean wasn't as wide.
Yeah.
So either he went walkabout and ended up in Guatemala, or there was trade.
Yes. Yeah.
So
well, when you hear archaeologists just poo-poo this stuff, and you think, well, yeah, but here are the anomalies.
Yeah.
Explain them, and they don't want to explain them. And then when somebody like, I don't know, Graham Hancock comes up and says, well, maybe there was this, that, and the other, and comes up with a theory, they're like, you're not an archaeologist, you don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Seriously.
That Hawass fella does it to him. And that Egyptian guy, he's always there's a guy who says that he can prove that the Sphinx is 1 million years old or something if he lets him drill into the foot or something, 10 feet under the ground, and he won't let him do it. And it's like the Turin Shroud. They wouldn't let anybody test it. And when they did, they proved it was a fake. And the Vatican said, "Oh, we knew it was a fake. It's just a good copy." But we knew that,
It's a good copy.
Yeah.
The original somewhere. I can't remember where I put it.
Well, it was proven that Turin Shroud material was from 1305 or something.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, we knew that.
Funny that, eh? The Catholic Church faking something. There you go.
Startling. Yeah.
Move on. Next page. We've seen enough.
I figured
of
that
this.
Easter Island was the tip of a very large land continent that's all underwater now.
Yeah.
There's
the sea has increased by like 200 feet or something at the sea level since the Ice Age.
There's so much of that topography we haven't looked at that we don't know what's under there.
Let me just throw this into the mix. There's a place near the Bahamas. It's called the Sargasso Sea, and it's at the tip of there where everybody plane crashes and all the instruments go crazy, and that's the area where Atlantis is supposed to be.
It's where the pilot for Johnny Quest took place.
Yeah, the Sargasso Sea was always in Marvel Comics in the 70s.
Yeah.
Well,
That's where I learned about it.
The first time I heard of the Sargasso Sea was in Stingray.
Yeah.
And guess what happened? They lost control of Stingray.
Oh my God, we're near the Sargasso Sea.
Mas Hussain's in the house. Great live stream, guys. Love this era of Kirby's work. Yeah, us
Thank
too.
you for being here, Mus.
Yeah, thanks for coming by.
Dave's in the chat as well.
Yeah,
that drawing there from the top left is a direct copy from the Y. That's a copy from the photograph
of the stones. Yeah, you can see. Yeah.
Oh, here.
No, top left. Yeah, that one. Yeah.
I love the panel underneath it, though, Glenn. The way that you can almost see the motion of the rocks falling off him as he's getting out of the ground. It's great.
There were two tribes, so to speak: the long ears, which those guys are, and the short ears, which is another DNA thing. That the long ears were from Polynesia and the short ears were from South America.
There you go. Like elephants. Like the elephants.
Yeah, that's right, yeah. And they used to argue all the time and push each other's Y over. How they did that, I don't know, because they weigh about 180 tons. I don't know.
Argue all the time. Yeah. I don't like your long ears. Well, I don't like your short ears.
Yeah. So they push them over.
Seems just as legitimate an argument as the skin color.
Yeah, well, it's exactly the same rubbish, isn't it?
Yeah.
See, almost looks like that one plant, not quite, was carried over from page to page, bottom panels.
Yeah.
Yeah, right there and there. Yeah.
On that second,
go on, Glenn.
I'm going to say on that second page there, the middle panel at the top, that guy looking straight at you, it looks like one of the Sentinels, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Middle panel at the top.
Middle at the top, he's looking straight at you.
Oh, here.
I love that. I mean, you look at those plants that that Rex pointed out there. They're so slick. The inking on that.
Yeah.
It's not
Let me just
overly
say-
done. It's just
Let me just
really.
let me just tell you that there are no plants like that on Easter Island.
I'm just.
And
I
it's
wasn't
very-
looking for realism
They
here.
were
And this Easter Island that
they
Kirby's
were
drawn
once
is
important.
very
Yeah.
hilly, and it's not. It's quite flat.
Is it flat? All right.
Pretty flat, yeah.
Gives it a tropical feel, though. Looks like a
Yeah.
palm tree. Yeah.
I just think I was just looking at the strokes of the lines there. I'm just thinking how lovely it is because it's so
Yeah,
simple.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Looking through the window there, Tim, in his house.
Yeah.
Was that a picture?
They don't believe me. Don't blame them. I must have imagined it all. Zzz. Only
he's just
stone
looking through the
statues.
window saying good night.
Oh. No aliens on this planet. Yeah.
I'll tell you what, if he's left Easter Island on that boat with no provisions, he's going to be dead because it's 2,000 miles from anywhere.
Yeah.
I like the way he's looking
The
through the
mask.
window. It's like the BFG.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, a little King Kong inspiration there, right?
Yeah, yeah. I like this
Reach in and
this
grab her.
crocodile monster
up.
on the right here. That's great.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I was
another
I
trapped.
human
became
robot.
a human robot.
Yeah. It's trapped in the tunnel to
I'm a hero.
nowhere. What was the strange secret of the impossible tunnel?
He's got his
I discovered no moloids or mole man down here.
Atlantean boots on.
He does.
A tale of unbearable suspense. I became a human robot and did what the television told me to do.
Bum, bum, bum, bum. Imagine, if you will, Russ Lee.
Oh.
Yeah, imagine if
as
you
a
will,
hero.
television news that told you the truth.
I am the menace from the Purple Planet.
Hey,
Another
purple.
gorilla cover. Like,
Yeah, can't go wrong
both
with a
DC
gorilla.
and Marvel, both Marvel and DC figured out that gorillas sell comics, so they put a bunch of them on the covers in the 50s and 60s.
Look at that! But
right?
what a
And
spread
70s.
there! What a spread there! You've got a
Mhm.
robot, an alien, and a gorilla over 2 pages, and look at that bottom right hand panel as well as the robot, and tell me that doesn't look like a blue C-3PO and a land speeder.
Yeah. Yeah, it does, yeah.
Your projecting is showing, Russ.
Yep.
You're not wrong. I'm just saying.
It's a nice caption. Just
Yeah, I
cut
like
in
that.
there. Yeah. It's kind of hot.
Roughly in the shape of Australia.
Kind of hot.
Yeah.
Russ. Randy gets turned on by a nice word blurb.
No, it's just a nice change of pace there. The little.
It
the
is
jagged
nice,
caption
eroded,
box.
sort of.
Yeah.
Deckled edge. Yeah, that's nice, especially against that hard edge machinery, right?
Yeah.
That comfort love seat they're sitting in.
Mhm.
It's
Backed up with extra support too on that. Chair.
well, it's got the vibrating
right.
stuff in it. It's like,
Yeah.
Rise is doing my back the world a good. Yeah.
At least the seats are heated. That just makes the wife happy. So yeah.
Well, when you hit hyperspace or light speed, you need to have that extra hydraulic back support.
You need an extra little bit of comfort for hyperspace. Yeah.
Yeah, just to absorb the tension, G forces. Awesome! Look at that guy.
He looks like a
There's
Ferengi.
There's your long
He
ears.
does,
Yeah,
doesn't
he does.
Klaatu
Well, I'm sure some of these
Niktu, whatever
later
it is.
iterations. I'm sure Kirby inspired a lot of creative people that went into TV and movies, with his vision.
Oh yeah, yep. Precursor to the Skrulls, right there.
If you look at that
Mhm.
first page, second panel with the soldier with the pistol, look, that tank track looks like a Dalek's head. down there and under the pistol.
Mm.
It was like a
Yeah.
Dalek. So, the grill.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I know it's the track of the tank, but it looks like a Dalek.
yeah, it does.
What it looks like is Klaatu Barada Niktu. There you go. It looks like the day the Earth stood still.
Yeah.
Because it's like there they all are, and he's coming out. He's got a big robot. He starts talking to them, and the robot does something.
Well, this
I
is
bet on the
after
next page. I bet on the next page they start shooting at him.
Yeah, this is after that though. That was 1951. The day the Earth stood still. Brilliant film though.
Oh yeah, I loved it. I love the original.
Amazingly, still holds up.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very evergreen, very timely.
Russ, what did you think about the Forbidden Planet with Robbie the robot?
Oh yeah, that was great. I mean, that was well ahead of its time. That film.
Star Wars
It was,
of its day. I'll
yeah.
tell you. Yeah.
Yeah, and Nielsen was great in it, wasn't he? So
Yeah.
young. And the
Well,
the
it
robot
did,
design and everything. So
some of the visuals influenced Gene Roddenberry for Star Trek.
yeah, it's not a surprise,
Absolutely.
especially the way that they were all dressed in the same uniforms and everything. It was quite sort of militaria.
Mhm.
You can see how that would have inspired him.
And they had gravity on the
Well,
spacecraft.
Yeah,
just that.
I love
first story
the
we
central
looked at
control room with the big round display unit. That was well ahead of its
Mhm.
time.
The machine that goes
or the window, the sort of titanium windows or whatever for the security for the house.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
remember that?
No, it was it was all great. Loved that.
Where they put up the metal shutters. Oh yeah, when I look at Forbidden Planet, that had to be a visual influence on. I think it was Irwin Allen that did Time Tunnel, right? Where they
Oh
had
yeah.
the giant city under the ground.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Yeah, and
Same
you could
thing,
see that was
the way they
a
did that.
the design, the art direction on Time Tunnel. Obviously, it was a TV thing as well. It wasn't a movie, not as much money, but you could see that it was like a watered down version of what they'd seen in Forbidden Planet. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Underground city though, where thousands of people are living and working underground.
I like that. At the end of that story, they killed the guy, not the robot.
Yeah.
And he's saying, "Oh, it's the robot went away." The robot said, "It's my mission."
Yeah.
That's
He's
great.
collapsed. It's just a useless hunk of plastic built to resemble a living creature. Then the other alien, Mark 8, his must be the life form from the Orion Major. On Orion Major. He's really the prince, ruler of a planet of metallic beings.
Hey.
I'm afraid my mission to Earth isn't successful. The Earthmen are a suspicious race. Wouldn't believe my reason for coming. Anyway, he says, after I make my full report, we'll decide what action we should take. Says he came in good faith and we tried to trick him. What happens next? We can only hope that he will understand, Major. We can hope and pray.
Pray. They're going to come back and they're going to kick your ass.
Tales to astonish.
Doodly diddly diddly doo.
I saw the invasion of the stoned men. They're coming from the depths of the earth. There's no place left to run.
You have to wonder how many of these stories were sort of influenced by the discoveries of the day in the newspaper.
Oh, yeah, very much. Yeah.
Like that. I saw the invasion of the Stone Men, and then I went home and had lunch.
Yeah.
It's like,
Good
I
for you.
saw the invasion. Why not just invasion of the Stone Men? It's like, I saw the invasion of the Stone. Right, okay.
Didn't just see the invasion of the snowmen. He also laughed at the great god Pan.
Who wouldn't? I mean,
Yeah.
come on.
Yeah.
He's got hooves.
Yeah. One of the early furries.
Russ, can I just tell you a little thing you might find interesting about those Easter Island? Why?
Yeah.
I'm sorry to go back, but just listen to this. Easter Island has one of the largest or longest runways in the world, and it's maintained by NASA because it was in case the space shuttle had to make an emergency landing at a certain point, and they would land on Easter Island, right? So just bear that in mind. The space, it was built, elongated by the American government to accommodate an emergency landing by the space shuttle from space, right? Now, 800Y are all looking inward, except for a place called Akivi, and there are 7 in a line, and they're the only ones on the island that are looking out. And they're all, some guy got some laser or something, and he measured up got their eyes, or where their eyes would be, and pointed them at the sky. And they are all looking at the window that a space shuttle would come through and land on the runway.
Huh.
And they were built at least 1,500 years, created at least 1,500 years ago. So sorry. Back to
I love stuff like that. I love stuff that makes you go, what? Just like the universe is effing with you, all of you, all of us. It's messing with your head. Just enjoy the ride.
Yeah. Like a Gestapo fella, doesn't he? On the top left in that shadow. SS.
He's a bit, isn't he? It's just a security guard for a museum.
Yeah.
Do not touch the exhibits.
I like the way Kirby, when he does exhibits, museums and stuff, even in places like the FF Baxter Building and where Alicia lives, there's always a giant head carved in the background.
There's always a giant bust. Yeah,
it's fantastic, isn't it? Like an alien type of thing.
It's just, sometimes you just, I mean, I know that you're aware of this, Glenn, and we're all aware of it, but just coming to terms sometimes with the volume that Kirby did.
Yeah.
It's just incredible.
Yeah.
Well, that's how he put food on the table. So.
Is that, on that 4th panel there, is that Heimdall in the background with his shield?
Yeah, it does look like it, doesn't it? I've got nothing better to do. I'll just go to Pan's party.
Yeah.
Blah. We're lost.
This is Chris
Greek
Rule
and Roman
inking
mythology.
again.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Rex.
I was just going to say they borrowed heavily throughout the years. I mean, that was the mythology, right? Greek and Roman mythology for the Western world. So they really drew heavily on that in a lot of stories, didn't they?
Yeah. Bone in the house. Good morning, Bone. Hope you're doing
Bone.
well. Thanks for stopping by. Though this is attributed to Chris Rule, it's kind of a different look, a different inking style to what we've seen before.
Yeah, I think it looks like Dick Ayers again.
Yeah.
I think he's maybe coming. Mind you, it's got that thick line around it that Chris uses. Like
Here and there, yeah.
Type of thing.
That kind of looks like, but you get up into this area here, it looks a little thin.
Oh, he's got a Peaky Blinders haircut.
Yeah. And look at the hair on my head. I can't get that to grow any longer than a crew cut. What? How? What happened?
Been there, done that.
So it was that blasted story of the god Pan. I never should have mocked it. I don't understand. What makes you think that had anything to do with it? I don't think. I know. That's what brought this about. Because just before we left the museum, that day, I turned around to take one last look at the painting of Pan, and I happened to see at the museum, that the museum guard was walking away. I didn't say anything to you because I didn't want you to think I was batty. And now I know. Yes, sir. Now I know.
I thought he had high heels on there.
Yeah.
That's kind of like almost military MP police look, right? I think.
Yeah.
With Jack's legs, yeah.
Maybe. Yeah. I think Ditko might have inked this cover here.
It's the thing from the swamp.
That's Chris Rule.
It says Chris Rule, yeah.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah, it's found us. I hear it howl in the swamp. We'll never escape it. Never. Yeah. Tales of Suspense, number
You're
6.
doomed.
You know, the rendering of that thing from the swamp there looks almost like it's been left in the pencil. It gives you an indication of what that page might have looked like before they inked it. You know,
Yeah, very
sketchy.
Yeah, very thin line use on that. Yeah. Gives it a totally different feel from the guys here in the foreground. The Luna lizards had me trapped.
Boom, boom, boom.
Crazy. That must have been a quick.
I love
day.
the way that I love the way they sum things up in these things. Like he says, keep back, stay away from this, so you know they're a threat. And that it's no use, so they know he's wasting his time. They won't stop wasting his time. I'm an alien being on their world. Ooh, right, he's an astronaut, and they're going to destroy me. Nothing can save me. You know what I mean? The way they build up that tension and tell you what's going on. I think it's great the way they do that.
You know, we look at Superman as the alien, but wasn't Clark, wasn't Ma and Paul Kent aliens to him as well?
Yeah, of course.
I landed on an alien planet called Earth.
Yeah.
Yeah, he didn't know he was an alien until later.
On the moon.
Yeah. He didn't know he was an alien until a little later.
What happened to that guy's eyes down bottom right?
He's Invasion of the Body Snatchers.
Ah.
And there's a guy there with
Don't
a pipe.
point out his disability, Russ. Don't point out his disability. It's probably blind.
I have to point it out. It's bloody obvious, isn't it? Look at him.
I just thought it was a look of terror.
So,
really?
I really like I like that guy. I like the bad guy from Men in Black. Insect that wore the skin suit. That was funny.
Yeah.
That was a great character.
It's just a great movie.
Yeah, I thought it was. I thought it was good fun. You weren't supposed to play with it.
I know, but it went crooked on me. There we go.
Again,
Damn,
just
earthquakes.
something, especially this week. The artwork has just been so appropriate. Do you know what I mean? It's not fussy. It's just told the story, and it's done it really well.
Welcome to Scuba Gear in Space.
Yeah, works for me. I like the fact that he's still got his cap on.
Yeah. Kind of humanizes it, doesn't it?
Yeah.
The thing I've noticed about the stories this week are the use of just solid colors a lot.
Yeah.
Like the colors just decided blue,
Yeah.
you know.
Blue for shadow. Bang.
Maybe they didn't have a lot of time to get this done. So
That cannon
for lizards.
Yeah, the cannon. Yeah.
That cannon thing reminds me of sort of a Shield type of weapon that used to be on every splash page when Shield started. You know, they were testing something, weren't they, all the time?
It's just
Sure,
this
you
this
say that
artwork
till
is
it
really
says
simple.
exterminate starts talking. Just a pile of shapes, really.
But it's great. I love it.
I get on all these stories like this where they have like uniform, all blue uniforms, like the first story, like Challenge of the Unknown vibe.
Yeah.
Or Fantastic Four without using their powers.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, look at that.
Giant head.
I found the giant in the sky.
Are the dinosaurs talking to him?
Yeah.
Those aren't dinosaurs at all.
You come in here
Telepathically.
like a bunch of space fleas invade our space.
Special guest appearance by Fing Fang Foom.
Yeah.
No.
No, it's his
Stegosaurus
brother.
man.
It's his cousin Brian.
Must be, absolutely.
Brian.
Early Marvel canon. Deal with it. Yeah, if you like Kirby fingers and a Kirby hand, that's the cover for you.
Yeah.
Lovely sausages.
He's actually coming from another dimension, isn't he? Because he doesn't continue beyond the cloud. He's coming from inside it,
Straight through.
Maybe if you use that on that.
Now,
Let's talk about buttered sausage.
Yeah. Anyway.
Great voice work, Randy. By the way.
Look at that.
Look at that. Wow.
There you go. Noah's Ark. Here we go.
Noah's buff.
My neighbor's
Noah's
secret. What a great title. We're all laughing at him for making a boat.
You make boats.
You
Look at him
cut
with that
down
saw.
all the fruit-bearing trees to build a boat.
He's got a hammer and a saw. That's all he's got. And a pipe.
Yeah, and his buff muscles.
Oh, he's keeping fit building that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And his little cotton spool lifting it up.
What's the difference between a hammer and a mallet?
One's metal and one's wood.
Yeah.
Well, now he's got a toolbox behind him on that first panel, doesn't he? With other junk in there.
There is a mallet there.
And a few duffel bags there. Of who knows what. Yeah.
Yep.
Could just be bits of wood, though, for all we know.
Yeah.
More wood.
My wood pile.
Look at the way the girl's standing in the center in the red with her knee, like she's posing at the top in the middle panel there in the red.
Posing for a picture. She's always got this little.
She's thinking, oh, it's quite nice, even though it's 185.
And her mate's got some rather nice shorts on.
Looks like no, I won't say it.
He's sucking on that cigarette, though, isn't he? Eh? He's enjoying that.
Yeah.
Yeah. At least he's using leverage. He's got a pulley system, right?
Yeah.
You got you got to give it to him.
What the neighbors don't realize is he needs someone to man the oars. He's building a slave labor camp.
Never can tell, Mac. The day you use that boat here, people will be ice skating in the equator.
I just want to show up and tell him one thing. That thing will never fly.
Yeah.
Here we go. It's raining.
It's raining.
No, it can't be. It's impossible. He's just sailing by your house in his boat. It's floating off.
Well, at least he's waving.
Look at the contempt there. The guy, he says, I guess it figures that any guy who'd build a boat in the desert wouldn't have the sense enough to come in out of the rain. I'm so contemptuous as that.
Yeah.
He still doesn't get it. I hope we don't let him on at the end.
No, you can go, mate.
For you see, when I was in the land office, the one bit of information they had about my neighbor was in his name. And when I saw that, I knew I would not laugh at him again. No one would laugh at him again, for his name was Noah.
You'll be dead.
Hammy. Come on, let's turn it over. I want to see what happens.
I'm sorry, but it says the end right here.
Oh no! Is that it? Oh,
That was the big twist ending.
That's a terrible.
Well, how many alien stories did they do with like Noah's Ark, where they're loading alien like creatures onto a rocket ship?
Yeah,
all the time.
Wouldn't you think that if you were laughing at
Go on, Glenn.
If you were laughing at a guy building a boat in the middle of the desert and it started raining and he's still carrying on and his name is Noah, you'd go out and help him, wouldn't you?
Yeah, you'd get like maybe I've been wrong, mate. Do you want a hand? Do you want me to hold that hammer?
I want to know why he's building it outside his house, because he's looking through the window at it.
Yeah, I know. It's like,
excuse me, backyard.
But surely you need planning permission for that.
Yeah, especially in my backyard.
Some HOA would have shut him down a long time ago. Yeah. Anyway. You were saying,
are you meeting current OSHA requirements?
Yeah.
Oh, look at that.
Oh, look at that.
I fought the Colossus.
He's just getting out of the where that other guy was, Noah. It's all full of water.
Yeah.
He can only look down, though. Bless him.
Oh, I want to ask you a question before I forget. Nothing to do with this. Captain America and the Avengers film. Which one is it? Which film is it where Captain America moves the hammer a bit? When they're all trying to move.
That's the hammer. Ultron. That's the Avengers.
Yeah.
Ultron movie. Yeah. Second Avengers movie.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Thanks.
And he moves it about a quarter of an inch, and Thor is like, "Whoa!"
Yeah. Yeah.
Wait a minute.
It's fantastic.
Yeah. That's because he's worthy.
Well, he's almost worthy at that point. Yeah. This is some guy named Ditko.
No.
Yeah. Here.
Look at that.
See that in the face right there.
Look at that machinery. That's just awesome.
Art Simic did the lettering on this as well.
All the different. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, dials and stuff.
Yeah.
You can see that Ditko straight away, can't you?
Yeah.
A little bit of woodwork in here. No.
The shading on the suits, just really simple folds and stuff. It's great.
Yeah.
The telltale sign is the faces 9 times out of 10, though.
Yeah,
for sure.
Special guest appearance by Will Eisner right there. Later here.
Yes, Will Eisner.
It doesn't really, so far, it doesn't really scream Ditko to me, you know.
No, it doesn't. But that's because Kirby is that hard of a penciler. You know.
Well, don't you think his pencils were more complete at this time? He wasn't as rushed with the work.
I'm not sure, you know, but it's obviously more Kirby than Ditko there. Yeah.
Yeah.
I would imagine he was doing complete pencils at this point too. because you never knew who was going to ink the story. You just
that's
did
what
the
I'm
work, turned
saying.
it
You
in.
know, by the
Yeah.
time he was doing like Avengers 1, he was working on several titles, and maybe it's just the plethora of different inkers
this
that
is
got on Avengers.
4 years before that.
Yeah, but the story behind Avengers 1 too is
Right.
that he did it in a week and a half. So
Right.
that was
I'm just saying this is probably tighter, more complete work.
Yeah. Avengers 1 was an emergency job because Bill Everett was a drunk. And Bill Everett was doing a book that was on the printing schedule, and they weren't getting pages from him. They didn't know what was going on, so they sent somebody to his apartment and apparently found him drunk in a bathtub, and they panicked. And that's how the Avengers 1 book came out and looked the way that it did. Is Lee calls Kirby and goes, "What are we going to do? What are we going to do?" And Kirby goes, "Well, let's do what your uncle asked us to do in the first place, put all these big characters together into one book and just call it whatever, the Avengers." That's how the Avengers, because they had to make that printing schedule or they were going to get fined real hardcore. So the book that Everett was working on didn't come out for a couple months later, and that was Daredevil #1.
Yeah, I was getting ready to say, wasn't he working on Daredevil?
Yeah. But, suddenly they added Avengers to the lineup, and the book sold like nuts because everybody, all those big players were in it. All the big Marvel stars at the time were there. So how could they lose? Then that's why if you go back and you go back and you read those early Avengers stories, and they're terrible. The Phantom, whatever, the first whole year or so are just horrible rushed jobs.
Don't really diss my Avengers now.
Oh, no. I'm not saying it was bad stuff. It's really classic material, but it was very haphazardly done because all of a sudden they had another book in their schedule that Kirby had to do,
Well,
I think that's why Heck came in at the last minute.
Even on Fantastic Four, you had a consistency of inkers.
Mm-hmm.
You would have George Russo one time and someone else, Dick Ayers, or it would just fluctuate with the inking.
Yeah.
On even the early Fantastic Four issues. And that made for a lot of inconsistency from issue to issue, I think.
Mm-hmm.
I guess you could argue that gave it more variety, I guess.
They were all running around like chickens with their heads cut off because they had to make deadlines. So whoever was open when the book hit the office, because they were shuffling originals back and forth in the mail.
Yeah.
Whatever, or they were dropping them off personally, going into the city and dropping off work. Whoever was available at that point got that job in order to get it done. So it's kind of cool with the Avengers too, because the roster shift that they did at 16, where they had even bringing in Captain America was a big thing onto that book to make sure to secure the sales on it. But when they changed the roster around, the main reason they did that is they kept getting all these fan mail from people asking how these characters like Iron Man and Thor can be in the Avengers book when their actual comic has a continued story from month to month. And Lee got tired of trying to explain it. So they switched the Avengers around to Captain America, Scarlet Witch, Quicksilver, and Hawkeye. Brought in, a couple of villains for turned heroes for Cap to train. They didn't add Goliath until his stories and Tales to Astonish were done. They shut that title down and moved Pym and the Wasp over to Avengers. But it was all continuity based problems, It's a boot. Just going to keep turning. Another Tales to Astonish. I spent midnight with the thing on Bald Mountain.
That's Alicia saying that, isn't it?
Yeah. Another Steve Ditko inking here. Look at that.
Who's the letters?
I love Ditko over Kirby.
This is Ray Williamson. Ray
Right.
Walloway. Ray, yes, this is Walloway. Walloway.
I think
Is
it's
that
great.
Ditko inking the?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, the cover as well.
No, that looks like, yeah, you're right. That's Ditko again. Yep.
Sorry,
What were you
Glenn.
gonna say, Glenn?
Didn't mean to step on your comment.
That's all right. That's okay.
If the ink work back here. That background, it's pretty wild. Nice. We met in the swamp. Uh-oh.
Look at those guys, top right.
Aliens.
It's it's the chipmunks.
They're from the planet Pug.
That's a very Ditko face in that blue there.
Fear me.
In the blue, yeah,
Fear
it
me,
is, isn't it?
Kirby.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, this sort of flatted color where you use like is kind of effective, actually. You know,
Yeah.
in a way.
Yeah,
I love
Very
it.
effective. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
very
I love it. I really
I
enjoy
like-
seeing flat
I
colours
like
like
the
this.
gray crocodile. The gray crocodile on the first panel.
Mhm.
I'll just say this: that's one of the best things in your book, Russ, that you've done those flat colours on that Atlantean
Oh, on the Shadow Kingdom.
Shadow Kingdom. Yeah.
Yeah, it was intentional.
Oh yeah, I know what
Yeah,
you said,
yeah.
but it works really well. It's really good.
Yeah, I like it because I think it helps the inks do their job. It's I don't get me wrong, I do like colour work. A good colourist can make an exceptional book, you know. But I think it depends on the style of the ink work as to whether lots of colour work works or not over the inks. And my style of inking is very much Bronze Age inspired, and I think it works best with simple colours on it. That's just a personal opinion. I'm sure there's people out there that would disagree with me, but that's their right. But I just really like the way this kind of work is. I think I'm very much a purist of it doesn't matter how good the inks are or how genius the inks are. It's all pulp. It's all about the story. It's all about telling a great story. And yeah, comics, I'm the first one to say that if the artwork is no good, I probably won't pick it up in the first place. But at the end of the day, you're there for the story. The artwork can be as great as you like, but eventually, if there's no story, you will put it down. It's that conveyance of the story that I love so much. And when I look at things like, you can have two ends of the scale. So you can look at Buscema's inks and think sometimes they can be quite open, and yet I still prefer them without colour on them. And then you'll look at Alcala's inks over Buscema, and there's so much detail going on. And the same thing, even though it's a completely different style, the same thing applies for me. I just prefer black and white. But then when you do put colour on and you put flat colour on like this, these inks are still... I would still like to see this, just the inks, just black and white. Yeah. But the simple colours don't detract anywhere near as much from what you're seeing.
Absolutely.
And I just love it that way. So
yeah. You can tell this guy's kind of a country bumpkin. He's got a corncob pipe.
Yeah.
Look at what this
he's
guy
not like
says.
one of those intelligent pipes.
And he's in overalls. Yeah.
Yeah. Look at this guy.
Got
what
a
he's saying.
back country pipe. Go ahead.
He says, "Howdy, where you gents from?" You know, like you do. And he says, "We're a scouting party from another world, an ancient world in a galaxy which you don't even know exists." Well, he does now. So just brilliant.
He knows. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wonderful little pug dog profile here, though.
It's Lockjaw's alien friend.
Yeah, it is. Look, I've got a gun.
The guy with the
No.
pipes, the kind of person who would call them varmints, isn't he?
Yeah.
Varmints. Little varmints.
Up here. No, don't. We need
Back then on television,
He's our one chance to get off this planet. Yeah. I'd have said mudball there.
everyone wore a hat and smoked a pipe,
Yep.
except for the women.
Well,
And some of them smoke pipes.
some of them, yeah.
Chewed tobacco.
Tobacco. I love this. Look at this old guy and look at the beard. Just the detail around the edges of the beard. There's no need for. I was talking to Art Tibet yesterday. Went on his stream, and we were talking about Joe Kubert's work, and it's that reminds me of his work. It's just like it. He only put the work. He only put the lines in where you needed it. You know.
That's the most Ditko that I think that I've seen in our story so far. This really looks like Ditko inking here. The heavier lines for the wrinkles, just quick brushwork.
Yeah,
and
just
here the little brush strokes for the beard.
Economy of line. Economy of
very
line.
much.
Absolutely brilliant.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Love it. It really does look like Ditko there. Invasion force. They're going to come back and attack Earth. What have I done? For a treasure. I've sold my whole planet down the river. I've betrayed all mankind.
Bum, bum, bum. Yellow Dick Tracy hat, yellow boat, yellow UFO, yellow chest.
If you look at the first page, the narration calls this guy a reporter fella, and it says it again there, like a hungry cat. That reporter fella went over to the chest. He's a reporter fella.
Feller, yeah.
Clark Kent.
Over to the chest, but when he opened it, what is this? A gag? It's completely empty. There's nothing in it but air. Serves me right for almost believing you. Come back. They did leave. They did leave what they valued most. They left what anyone that goes from one galaxy to another values the most. What's most important to anyone in a spaceship? They left air. A tank full of air. They weren't lying. Wait, come back.
Unless, of course, it's air from a planet that you can't breathe on. Then it's no use at all.
And it has wonderful bugs in it, too, for everybody to breathe in. Yeah. And that's how they conquer the Earth. Uh-oh.
Ooh,
I fought the molten man thing.
Mm.
I'm free. No.
Now, if he's molten, those humans are going to be very hot around him that close. If he's molten,
he's the
giving off
molten
a
man
bunch
thing.
of heat.
Run for your lives. If we don't stop it now, we never will. Get the hose.
Get the hose.
The hose at the bottom. The hose at the bottom of the cover. What's she doing climbing up there?
Stop it.
Just water him down till he hardens up.
In.
It is.
More Steve Ditko on the inks.
Running scared here.
Run, Polyponesia, run.
The American isn't leaving. He will be destroyed. I can't run away. Leaving. I can't run away. I have to stay.
How do you like those khaki shorts, Russ?
Yeah, there you are.
Oh,
He
they're
just
lovely,
woke
aren't
up,
they?
though. Those are
He's
his
got lovely
boxers.
legs.
Yeah. Have to face the nightmare. I have
Stocky
to find
legs.
some way of stopping it, or it will overrun the island and then the world.
Get the hose.
Exactly. Get the hose.
Get the hose. I had to draw a molten man once.
Only once. How sad.
Yeah, just the once. I can show you. Hold on.
That's Ditko right there. Kirby must have been pretty loose on
Mhm.
this
There he is.
page. That is so
There's the
Ditko
molten
right
man.
there. Here, let me pop that on screen.
My molten man is a bit Ditko-ish. There you go.
There he is.
Oh,
It
yeah.
looks just like him. Yeah.
That's what I was
Amazing.
saying. Yeah, I saw it and I thought that looks just like my molten man.
Yeah, and it's right next to Man Thing.
Next to Man Thing and
What
yeah,
And
Thunder
Dinosaur
Lizard,
Thing.
Dinosaur, T-Rex.
That's an awesome
go.
Man Thing. Look
That's
at
a
that.
nice
Bowling.
rest.
That is
So if
crazy
you
good.
combine the thing, you would have a molten man thing.
Exactly
Just-
A
right.
molten man thing. Yeah. Check
And
my
he's-
molten man thing out.
And he's sweaty there too. He's got a little side
Yeah.
panel. It's showing he's
Yeah,
sweaty.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. He's a little bit sweaty.
He's
Does
moldy.
that mean he's
drippy.
losing his feathers?
Feathers. Does he have
Feathers.
feathers? Who has feathers?
He's
Molting.
just dripping.
He's just,
Molting.
he's just
man
dripping.
thing.
Look at them
Molten.
drips.
Yeah.
Gloop, gloop.
Like with our character here. Yeah.
This reminded me of him.
Too.
It's that guy that Rorschach threw the burning oil on in the prison.
Yeah, he's
Oh, God.
covered in mush. Yeah. That's a good Lord face right there.
Good Lord.
Mhm.
All he needs
Now,
is a
did they
pipe and
say
a little
who did the?
pork pie hat.
He was and again.
Do
the
they
great
say
Ditko page.
in the credits on these who did the coloring
Not that I'm aware
on
of.
any of these?
No.
The credits are a bit hard to get, actually, a bit early, aren't they? Because they weren't crediting people here.
Yeah,
We must flee while there's still
Yeah.
time.
We must flee.
and don't you
Must.
think this has probably been recolored, although it's kind of faithful
Oh,
to the original?
I was going to
Don't you think
say,
it's probably
it was probably
Maybe.
recolored for this edition.
Yeah.
I don't think they spent a lot of time on this. This might have been recolored for the reprints for the books that they did back in the 80s and 90s. But I doubt they spent a whole lot of time on the omnibus outside of just throwing the pages together.
Once they've done it once, they'd just leave it here.
Isn't that is such great Ditko right there?
Isn't it?
Darker, isn't
Just
it?
great. Yeah. Real obvious. Whoosh,
Whoosh.
whoosh, whoosh. They got the hose.
Yeah, that's a big hose.
It's a big
Oh, no,
fan. They're cooling
it's a
him off. That's
fan.
what it is. Yeah.
I'm your biggest fan, Molten Man.
Turn on the fan. Click. Whoosh.
Oh, it's the end. Is that it? Oh, he just went back.
And melting. Yeah, he had to leave. He was stiffening
Yeah.
up there.
That was it.
You would have thought he would have become a statue.
Look at great
Yeah.
machinery right there. Pull
A
the
statue
switch.
or all the molten stuff like gets taken off him,
Yeah.
and he's just standing there, and he's just like a simple man or
It's
a woman,
velvet.
even.
You always have to love the safari hats that show up.
Yeah. It's not. Yeah, that's
Just taking the
piss
piss,
helmet.
aren't they?
Yeah,
Taking the piss.
taking a piss.
It's the lava man reaching the control room just as the lava man melted himself into the building. I pulled the starter switch. Now.
No.
He's telling himself.
Yeah, exactly.
Right, you lovely boys.
He's retreating. It's worked. He's beaten. During the next hour, the whole island watched the man thing slowly make his way back up the mouth of the volcano. See, he returns to the mouth of the volcano. See, he returns to the mouth of the volcano. It says so right there, too. Makes his way back to the mouth of the volcano. See, he returns to the mouth of the volcano.
I thought it
What
was
if he
a
returns
giant
again?
horse.
He will never return again. Already the volcano has stopped erupting. All will be as it was. You have truly saved us with your giant fan. But how can you be sure? And then he gives this long explanation here how he knows.
I know, because I've got a bigger fan.
There can only be one answer. I knew that lava itself wouldn't be alive. There had to be a living creature inside the lava, a creature that had come from the depths of the earth and who needed great heat to stay alive. That's why he surrounded himself with a boiling molten mass. He may have meant no harm. He may have been merely exploring the surface. But now he knows he can't stand the intense cold we threw at him. He will have no reason to ever return. And the tribes guy here, tribesman dude there goes, your words have the ring of wisdom.
That's all you need. That's all you need.
That's
no
all you
critical analysis, just the ring of wisdom.
Yep.
Yeah. And we never really got to see the creature, just his molten exterior.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
And so the incident ended.
mystery.
2 exclamation points. Exclamation points. Not long after, I returned home. How are you feeling, Frank? Fine, boss. Never felt better. It's just like you figured. All I needed was a little rest to put me in shape again.
Oh,
Yep.
that's the joke at the end.
It's great the
You
way
know-
that his boss had just come out to the airfield and shouting up to him in the cockpit. He couldn't wait
Why
till
has
he
he
got
got a
out.
yellow hat on? Why is it yellow?
Dick Tracy.
Personally, I've learned
it's
something from this strip.
he was
that
he
Next
he's-
time
ahead.
I vote, it will be to the person whose words have the ring of wisdom about them.
Yeah,
That's right.
Don't
He's
hold
the
your
man
breath.
he's the man in the yellow hat. You just can't see George. He's out of camera. Curious George.
The man in the yellow hat.
Yeah.
And to answer your question, it's a straw hat, Russ. That's why.
Right, okay. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Of course it is. Oh, look at those Kirby dinosaurs.
Zog is free to destroy us. I brought Zog the unbelievable back to life.
That dinosaur on the left is just looking for a good piano.
This guy here, yeah. Christopher Rule again. I planted the seeds of doom.
Those leaves at the bottom look like fingers, don't they?
They do.
They're very thick. Perhaps they're coral.
They're prehistoric.
The splash
He's
page
probably on
says one
Instagram.
thing to me: run away,
Yeah,
Yeah.
run away. Run.
run from Zog.
No, it's just not just Zog. It's Zog the Unbelievable.
Exactly. Yep. Look
I
at
don't
that
believe
plant. That's pretty hot.
Mm-hmm.
Planted the seeds of doom. It's funny, the dinosaur kind of shrunk here when they weren't looking.
Look, you have dinosaurs, space, the Earth, just all over the place. Interior shots, giant
and a-
plants.
A large, all-consuming plant. Yeah.
Show us what it's going to be.
Feed,
Is it a monstrous plant?
feed me. Feed me.
Feed me, Seymour.
Feed me. Feed me, Seymour.
I like
Stop
his
throwing.
water pot with a shower head on top of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, lovely.
Look at
Just
that guy
shooting
there with
straight
that-
out as well.
He's got a sort of an American
Yeah.
bowler hat on with his pipe.
That is, yes, it's an American. It's funny how those American bowler hats are just slightly different. I think it must be the rims on the sides.
Yeah.
It's
Oh,
stopped
Henry,
growing.
let's get some of those strange seeds. All right.
I just look at the characterization in just those two people there. I mean, and let's just take a moment to just look at her slight double chin, just a slight
Yeah.
one. So she's demure, she's older, but
She's
but you
50.
can see that she's 50, 60, whatever, but still a demure woman.
Yes.
I mean, that's impressive stuff there.
So
People just
show age, add a few
Yeah,
extra chins.
people
Yeah.
just gloss over this stuff. This
Yeah.
is the stuff that is hard. So an economy of, I mean, look how many lines are on their faces. Very little. Okay,
Mhm.
and yet look at the
Mhm.
characterization he's shown in just a
Mhm.
few lines. That is why these guys are geniuses.
And
It's a
here,
perfect example.
this last panel where he's actually got an up the nose shot. He's looking
Yeah.
up because the thing is so monstrous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
I'm gonna make a
that
t-shirt
shot,
just for
those
you,
those
Russ.
last shots, they're far easier to produce
Mhm.
than the demure woman
Yeah.
and the old guy there. That
Yeah.
is hard. Okay, if
I'm gonna
it's
make
hard,
a t-shirt for
if
you,
you're
Russ,
not,
that says "You had me at the bowler."
yeah,
Yeah.
it's hard if you're not Jack Kirby, John Buscema, Brian Bolland, whoever it might be, a list of geniuses we all know.
Bollywood.
Those guys could
Mhm.
do that, and they didn't even think about it.
And
It
at this
wasn't
point,
hard for them.
Kirby will have been in the business for about 20 years at this point.
Yeah.
I would say.
So this is just flick that little double chin in, put those little, the extra lines on the neck of the old gentleman, just absolutely nails it, and it's inspirational, that kind of stuff. Oh no,
Jack right there.
the plant has turned into a dinosaur.
It has.
What the hell?
And the guy's turning into Jack Kirby.
Yeah. He did that too. And the dinosaur says
Arr.
brack, brack.
Rack, rack,
Brack, brack.
rack, rack. It sounds like the Martians from Mars Attacks.
Yeah, that was Ack though. Ack. Yeah. What a great looking dinosaur though.
It
Love
is, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's got a bit of a duck bill on it. It's great.
Yeah.
And he's got hands.
Yeah.
He's looking towards the ceiling, towards the sky. He doesn't understand why there's no rain to quench his thirst.
What?
On X-41, his home planet, it rained every quarter hour. He's not getting the shower he demands.
Rawr.
See, I remember this cover from a Where Monsters Dwell reprint book.
Yeah.
So does the dinosaur guy die?
Yeah,
does.
dinosaur's dead.
There's his
Oh,
tongue.
that's no good, is it?
That
He's
didn't
fainting.
take long.
This is my chance.
I feel sorry for the
Dino
dinosaur.
burgers
Yeah, that's
all
good.
around.
As soon as the lizard
how
was
you-
unconscious,
I
I
actually
ran out
have
of my
this
apartment.
Strange Tales.
How are you going to get that guy out of your apartment?
Well, you're not. You're going to eat him.
Yeah. Just grind him up for
Dino
hamburgers.
burgers all around.
Well, no, it's not hamburgers, is it? This is the perfect bean burger because he was made out of a plant.
Oh,
You can
so
eat him
true.
and it's vegetarian.
It's an impossible burger. There we are.
It's the impossible burger. Yeah. Dino bean burger. Yeah.
Unbelievable burger.
Yes. Unbelievable burger.
Unbelievable burger.
With
With cheese.
From now on, we'll have to be real careful in our exploration. Our Earth is a mere speck in the universe, and our knowledge of life forms is limited. If we want to survive, we'd better take nothing for granted when we're out here among the stars.
Is he smoking a cigarette, that pilot?
Yeah, he is.
Yeah. And then the
Can't-
guy with the headgear on has still got his cap on. It's great.
Yeah.
He does.
They're doing a podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah. And when I was again on Earth, I couldn't help thinking of the ironic aspect of the whole thing. That lizard was a mighty opponent, but he was defeated because he didn't try to learn the ways of man. He didn't really know he could have had water by merely turning on this faucet.
Dear God. I think they should have just made the third panel previous to that the last panel. I don't know about the faucet panel. I'm not good with this.
Yeah.
You stupid animal. You should have known how to use that tap.
His hands couldn't have reached it anyway.
God.
Guess we should probably end it there, eh?
Yeah, we probably
Yeah.
should. It's getting late.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Next week, Groto. Grotu.
Is it
King of the
Grotu?
insects.
Grotu?
Gratu.
Gratu?
Let's call him Gratu.
I
Faster
actually
he
have
sees us.
this
Gratu
issue
doesn't want us
somewhere.
to escape. Nothing can stop Gratu. We are all doomed.
Nothing can stop.
Can we at least
Gratu.
see the splash page? Can we turn it and see the splash page?
Might not be
What
Gratu.
we got next?
Wanna
Oh, it is
refresh
Gratu.
my
Oh,
memory?
check that ant out.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Aye.
He's got some great pincers, hasn't he?
Yeah.
I think Jack must have
That's
seen
Johnny Quest there. Aye.
Yeah.
Sorry, what'd you say?
Jack
Glenn?
was watching them the day before
Yeah.
he drew this.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
That stupid high-pitched noise.
Yeah.
Aye.
Brilliant.
Ah, the ants are coming because somebody's whistling.
We've only covered that much of the book so far, folks. More to come.
Wow.
Oh dear.
Great stuff for our
dear.
Monsterbus. What a thing to
That's
look at
great.
for Halloween month.
Monsterbus October. There you go.
Monsterbus.
Maybe
October.
what we should do is we should go through it till the end of October. You should put a bookmark in it, and then we should come back to it next October.
I think that's a great idea. We can do that. That would be great.
Wow.
This
And
Sunday,
we can still do like 1, 2, 3, 4. It just take us years and years and years because it'll be only over October.
Oh yeah.
Mhm, mhm. Larry Lieber being Stan Lee's brother.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Stanley's
Great
neglected
artist
brother, by the way.
himself.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did a great, a lot of monster, western, all types of stuff.
Also, yep. Yep. The Sunday for Sunday funnies.
Oh, look at that.
Tales
Look at
from the
that.
Crypt, folks.
Ooh,
We're gonna
giant
start in
space
the-
rat.
Start in the middle of the run when it's at its most horrific and go from there.
Hmm.
Tales from the Crypt, Sunday Funnies, 9 a.m. at the Indie Comics Network Comic Book Black Belt YouTube channel and the Randy Zim YouTube channel. So stop by then. Be back next week for more Monsterbus.
Rawr.
More monsters on the way, folks. So we'll see that. We're really glad you stopped by today, everybody. We hope you had a good time, as good a time as we had. Sorry, we've been neglecting the chat way too much, and I apologize for that. Let's see who's up here. Timothy Olson is in the house. Good morning. Good morning, Timothy. Nice to see you here. Seemed like everyone drew the same back then. That was all Kirby. However, an age of iconic Marvel characters. Yeah. Hey, Tim, this is interesting. Says, yeah, but at the same time, it was probably the best they could do. They did their best. Yeah. So did the original artist get fired? No, it's Kirby. Or are you talking about
You
Bill
might be
Everett?
talking
He was
about
there. No,
Avengers. Yeah.
no, he kept the gig for a couple of issues and then couldn't keep the deadlines. Then they brought in Wally Wood,
Yeah.
and he couldn't keep the deadlines either.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah, because he was an alcoholic somewhat.
Joe Orlando was in there quite a bit in the meantime.
Wally
here and there.
Wood was
Yeah.
also pissed off about not getting a writer's credit as well. So you got to say that.
That's true too. Didn't like the Marvel method at all. He went over to Thunder Agents right during that period.
Yeah.
Says you would think being a drunk would get you fired. Yeah, no, they loved Everett though. They really did, and they kept giving him opportunity after opportunity. And there's a beautiful run of Submariners a few years after that are just incredible.
Yeah.
I need to dig those up and take a look at them. Very stylized, very beautiful work. You're not a fan of the King? Yeah, I'm a fan of the King. Left foot looks odd. The statue on the cover. I bet the croc is gray because of printing. Gray was a hard. Yeah, we were talking about that gray croc. Gray was a hard color for them to keep back then. They used it pretty sparingly. That's why Hulk went from gray to green. Tree Goblin in the house.
How can you say that?
Yeah, right.
When we looked through this whole book, it had a lot of gray areas, even gray on cover.
Yeah, but it was spotty in it.
That's a misnomer. I think that's a misnomer about Hulk #1. They said, well, they had to change it from gray Hulk to green because of printing issues. But I think, like, even on this group cover here, you see gray.
But it didn't.
Done.
They didn't have to do it consistently, and that was the problem with the printing presses back then. The gray tone would constantly shift and change. Hulk #1, if you open the original printing on Hulk #1, he goes from red to brown to dark brown to gray to all the whole spectrum of colors, because they couldn't maintain consistency. That's why they changed him to green. I don't know, because green was easy to hit.
Well, I've also heard a story that Stanley's boss, was it his
uncle?
Father-in-law?
His uncle.
What was his relation to the boss?
Martin Goodman.
His uncle. Okay. Yeah. Had that they had based Hulk on or came out with Hulk because of the great sales on the Glenn Strange Frankenstein Aurora model that came out that was widely, and it was green, and he came back and said, "What's this gray Hulk? Let's go green like the model." So I've also heard that as well.
Well, I think, to be honest, both stories could be true. To be honest, they would both fit with each other because they'd need a color, so that could be the color they chose. I think the difference you're seeing is, and what Randy has suggested, and why we would see grey in this book, even though this has been recolored, is that it's one thing to put a grey spot, so like that crocodile, or a grey building, or a grey random, but to have one character that must be the same color all the way through a book, I think that's where the issue lied, as Randy was saying. So you could see grey being used quite a bit, but only where it was not important that it was consistent.
I would imagine that's also why they go ahead.
The Gray Beast, because the Beast was gray when he came out with the furry beast with the fur,
And what about the Grey Gargoyle as well? He was gray.
Well, Grey Gargoyle was a super villain that was in that issue, but I do think that's why they turned Iron Man yellow. So he started out being gray.
Yeah.
Grey was a popular color back then.
You would think.
Sure, I think it's in that book Stan Lee wrote in the 70s about the Marvel heroes or something, where I'm sure, I might be wrong on this, but I think he said that you should never use green on a cover. But then again, you see what he did, he spun it and said that it was his idea to doing green.
Well, I know DC
he likes to go against the norm.
DC had a bad a policy there for a while about foam green, kind of a light green that they would use incredibly sparingly on covers, because every time it was printed, it never sold. Whatever book it was on, with a light green, almost like a mint green background to it.
Correlation doesn't always equal
sales
causation.
Yeah, but no, I've just thought of a great idea of a character, Green Lantern.
There you go.
What about Green Hulk?
Yeah, exactly. I was thinking Green Lantern the whole time.
And let's color Green Lantern red.
Yeah, let's do that.
Yellow hair, give him a black cape. Yeah.
Or Green Arrow, for that matter.
Green Arrow.
Yeah.
He came a little later. Rex, tell folks how they can find you.
They can find me on Twitter, on YouTube daily, 4 O'Clock Shadow, Facebook under Rex Christian. Where else? On X, Twitter. I'm around.
You have a current campaign
around now, guys. But got a current campaign. Sorry about that. Yeah, I've got actually 2. I have the ash can over on Indiegogo, the Devil Flyer ash can, and it's still up. And then on Fund My Comic, we have the Devil Flyer prequel magazine that's still up. Hope to get you and Russ on to talk about the Atlantean here pretty soon.
Would love to do it.
Yep.
Russ, tell folks how they can find you.
You can find me at russleach.com. Sign up for the email list. Keep abreast of all the information about our new title, The Atlantean. Also about what's going on with versions of the Shadow Kingdom. I have just finished, literally, I'm on the last page of The Atlantean. So that's ready to go. The Shadow Kingdom, we're producing a artisan version, which is effectively the original scans of the black and white inked artwork with the letters over the top at a magazine size, with some stuff in the back about, like the presentation and the development, pencils, sketches, that kind of stuff. So that's being put together. So we'll have more news about that soon as well. So in order to keep up with all of the latest news, find out what's happening with the latest campaigns and issues, go to russleach.com and sign up for the email list. There you go. Awesome. Obviously, you can also pick me out. All the social medias, they're all there on russleach.com, but sign up for that email list.
Great. Glenn, tell folks how they can find you.
Yeah, you can find me all over the internet. You can find me on this program on Friday mornings and Randy's show on Sunday. If you put my name in Google, you'll find something, but you can mainly find my 12 books and many magazines on Amazon. So if you just type my name in, you'll find something on there. But just look around the internet, Facebook, all the usual places.
All right. And folks, I've been your host, Randy Zimmerman. You can find my work over at aerocomics.store. Lots of great stuff over there. Take a look. You can also find, for as long as they last, a few copies of the Shadow Kingdom that we were offering during the campaign. If those suddenly disappear, they're gone. You can find it over at criticalblast.com, amazon.com, barnesandnoble.com. Go over there and take a look. Do look at Fund My Comic for the Atlantean #1. Over there, should be right there on the front page. We're real happy with the way the campaign is going. We really need more readers, so go over there and buy into that book if at all possible. Deeply appreciate it. You won't regret it. It's a great story, great artwork, and a lot of fun. So go over there as well.
Is that the second Cole story? What is the Atlantean?
That's a new story based on the characters and situations from the Shadow Kingdom.
Okay.
There are only 2 Cull stories that are in public domain, and we haven't gotten to the second one yet, but we will. So the rest of them aren't obtainable or legally. So, but what we've done is we've taken the Shadow Kingdom as like a springboard, and after Cull is king of Valusia and uncovers the plot to take over his throne, he decides to rid the world of all of the lizard people, and start.
Go see some art. Go see some art.
Yeah,
show you a finished screen.
We can show you some art.
There you go. So here's the cover.
Aye.
There's the cover. Okay, and we've got
Jack
some
Kirby.
internal art. That's the inside front cover. That's the ink. You can get that as a print, or you can even buy the original artwork for that, and then we go straight into Cull in
on the road.
On the road.
Cull and Brule on the road. Yep,
on the road, checking things out.
Great stuff.
And it doesn't take long before you get into a fight. You gotta have a lovely straight into a bar fight. Yes, that's what
barroom brawl.
Went to a bar fight and a tavern broke out. Yeah.
Back when my life was much less civilized. It's a great story. It's really good fun. I really like what Randy's done. It's a great start. It's a great stepping on point from the Shadow Kingdom over to the Atlantean and our journey through Valusia and the Thurian Age, and Brule and Cull getting into scrapes and finding out what's going on. So I've really enjoyed drawing this one. I can't wait to start on the second one. So
when do you expect to get to the second public domain story that's available?
I'm not sure. At
not
this
sure.
Point. We're just going to keep going on it. We might do it as a side story. It's a very short story, and quite frankly, it is. And I don't mean I love Robert Howard. I love Howard's work. Believe me, very much. But that story is really clunky.
Yeah.
To put it nicely,
You can smooth it out, Randy.
Yeah, it's gonna take a little. A little comic.
We're focused on original stuff. We want to create.
Yep.
We want to move forward. Obviously, we're respecting Howard and his work, and that's why we're doing it, because we respect it and we love it, and we want to see where we can take the characters.
Great characters too. Yeah,
and it's going to be a fun ride, and it's going to be quality It's going to be consistency. The idea is that we have 3 out a year. So next year, starting with 1st of March, which will be issue 2, we'll go to crowdfunding, and we will have 3 out in that year, unless something major happens,
Quality.
which obviously, touch wood, we hope doesn't.
Yeah.
So,
Knock on wood.
Quality
and consistency.
unparalleled.
Yep. Very proud of that work. Folks, again, Indie Comics Network, Comic Book Black Belt YouTube channel, Randy Zim YouTube channel. We know the majority of our viewership comes after the fact, because who over here on this side of the world wants to get up at 5 a.m. to watch us? And we do appreciate you stopping by whenever you do. And we hope that you've enjoyed yourself. We hope you look at our archives and go back and visit those as well. We are not monetized for this. We're not asking for money. We don't have, we have sponsors, but they're fun, goofy sponsors. Arrow Comics, it has a little blurb that we run every once in a while, but that we do this because we love it, because we love this art form, and we love showing off and talking about classic stuff. Like the Monsterbus, the short stories that we're looking at now, or Tales from the Crypt, that'll be coming up Sunday. We have done a wide variety of shows on a wide variety of materials, so go back and take a look at our archives, and please enjoy. And if you can, leave a comment, leave a like, leave a love, wherever you can. Any interaction, even if you hate us, it goes to help our algorithm. So please do that. Take a look at Indie Comics Network, at the different variety of programming they have. If you love comics, talk positively about comics. You don't have to jump on the antisocial networks and hate on the stuff that you hate. Let's talk about the stuff that you love. Give comics away as gifts. Spread the love of this art form, because if we don't do it, nobody else is going to, and we deeply appreciate you being here. And any other last words? Go visit your local retailer. Look for those boxes closest to the floor, those great black and white magazines. You'd be amazed at what fantastic stuff is out there waiting for you to discover. Even if you don't like the modern comics, the old stuff.
Yeah.
Is
Whenever you
still
buy
good.
comics, see if you can buy 2 and give one away.
Go visit fundmycomic.com. Take a look at the Atlantean.
Yeah.
There's a lot of other great campaigns going on over there now. John Delarose has got over a 20,000, I think, campaign over there at Fund My Comic as well. There's a lot of other great campaigns. Devil Flyers there. Hatch Annotated is there. The Fool that I wrote is still available over at Fund My Comic. It's a crowdfunding platform designed for folks to sell their comics, not to sell the next electronic pogo stick or whatever, just comics and comics related material. And it's open for everybody, as long as your campaign fits public decency standards that anybody can read. You're allowed to promote and campaign for your book on that site, and the rates are incredibly low as well. So go over there and take a look. I can't recommend that site enough. Not enough people, in my opinion, are using it. Fundmycomic.com. It's there to be taken advantage of. It's created by fellow Arrow publisher, Luke Stone. So go over there and take a look. Use that site. You won't regret it. Steer people over to it. There's so much great stuff over there just waiting for you to find. There's other great comics out there as well. Don't think that we're just Marvel and DC might not be carrying the ball, but man, that Ghost Machine material is pretty good. Distilleries, actually, the one book that I read was pretty readable. There's still great comics coming out there. You just have to look for them and find them. Don't give up on the art form just because Marvel and DC seem to be stumbling over their own feet and can't do much of anything right. Folks, we deeply appreciate you being here again. We'll see you soon. See you on the next one.
See ya.
And in the meantime, I have
That's for Danya.
I have a new version of Smell the Shoe.
Oh, right.
Thanks, folks. See you soon. Take care. Thanks for hanging around. Here we are.
Holy shit. That is the craziest thing I have ever seen. And I'm Dennis Quaid, and Dennis Quaid has seen some shit.
And it was this desire to lead in gumball innovation that would change everything forever.
What we were trying to do was make the gumballs more orange, but what we did instead was open a rift in the space-time continuum, unleashing a godlike entity. You know, it happened.
What was that? This is not a charade. We need total concentration. Now, once again, this time, with theory.
Smell this shoe.
Excuse me?
모습을 나타내면서
Know how much I will not. And
kararına İstanbul Pendik Milli Eğitim
smell that shoe.
있고 bez njega ne.
Ma'am, you want a whiff of my shoe?
333 041, ja se izvinjavam. Oj Bože.
Alles okay, wollen Sie gleich ans Expertentelefon gehen, Herr Ohm? Um Gottes Willen.
Smell that shoe.
Jasmine.
Taste the biscuit. Taste the goodness of the biscuit.